In addition to various web browser plugins, there are a number of websites that may be really useful to you. One of them is an IP calculator. This happens to be one right here. You can just do a Google search on IP calculator. If you need to know what the network block or the number of hosts within the network or any number of details related to IP addresses and networks, you can go to this site here. You'll get the netmask from the CIDR notation, which is the number of bits that are in the network mask. You'll get the network address, the broadcast address, the minimum host, the maximum host, and then the host per network. IP address calculator is really useful, keeps you from having to do binary or hexadecimal in your head, for example. Another one is Geek Tools. Geek Tools will provide the opportunity to do a trace route or at least link to trace route sites. And you can also do a who is from the Geek Tools who is page. So, for example, I could plug in an SZPFL, which is the CAPTCHA code there. And then if I were to say, just do a who is on an IP address, I'm going to get all of the results back. We're going to take a little bit more detailed look at who is a little bit later on, but this is a website that is useful as well. You also might want to do GeoIP lookups. In other words, you may want to look up addresses from IP addresses. You can use geoiptool.com. That's one site that will do GeoIP lookups. There are frankly a large number of websites and web pages that are available. Another one that I want to take a look at here is the exploit database. So, the exploit database will give us access to the current exploits that are available, including remote exploits and web application exploits, local and privilege escalation exploits. It also hosts the Google Hacking Database, which is using keywords to do very specific lookups. And so you would use some of the Google keywords, like, for example, site and then in URL, to get to very, very specific information. So here, for example, is a Google search, sometimes called Google Dorks, and you can see the reference to dorks right there. And if we were to look that up, it would be WebEx sites that included TC3000 within the URL. There's not really a description here in terms of what this actually does, but it does give you a very brief example of what a Google hack would be or a Google dork. There are a number of websites that you can use to very quickly look up information. And if you don't have access to command line tools for some of the things that we can do on command line, you can use sites like Geek Tools, for example, to do a who is lookup, or there are a number of other web pages that will do things like trace routes and so forth.